Boston hits 5 home runs, including a 3-run shot from Carlos Narvaez. Aaron Judge hit 2 homers.
The company is Eagle Masonry and Insulation, but did you know they're also Eagle Landscaping and Dirt Work? Eagle can take care of all your landscaping needs, including irrigation, sod work, and planting, both plants and trees. On the dirt work side, Eagle can grade and build your pads, haul dirt in or out, and even do erosion control. Philip Love and his team can do it all for you. The website is the same, insulatewitheagle.com, as is the phone number, 256-755-1556. Give them a call and see what Eagle can do for you. Eagle saves you time. Eagle saves you money.
And now, a man who knows what you ate for breakfast.
Time now for the biggest thinker of them all.
He knows it all. He is Drew DeArmond. Listen to Drew and Scott Tyson weekday mornings. It's Talkin' Ball on 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
But that never worked.
Joe Hunk, John Abraham, 256-576-4977. Welcome to the Blitz.
Hello and welcome in to the Blitz. John Abraham, Captain Cool, alongside Joe Hunkapiller, a.k.a. Joe Hunk. Welcoming you back into the show after a long weekend. It felt extremely long. And it wasn't because I had to drive around and have to go and get pictures of some properties. That was fun, actually. I very much loved that. It was mainly because of the sports. And I think we all know why. Of course, we had the college baseball supers going on, which was extremely entertaining. Anywhere you looked, whether you were looking at LSU as they were facing off against West Virginia, a little bit less eventful. Coastal Carolina versus Auburn, which all of our Alabama teams are out. That's upsetting. Louisville versus Miami, which who was watching this? Well, you should have been, but probably weren't because there were other games going on. And on top of that, the one to end off all the games, the one that we're looking forward to today, Murray State versus Duke. What the heck? Every single one of these games brought the excitement, and I am very much excited to talk with you guys about it, as well as that Arkansas-Tennessee matchup that we will get into in the second hour with Otis Kirk from Hogville.net, as Arkansas got themselves a pretty big win against the Volunteers, and they're pushing themselves forward to the College World Series. Very much exciting stuff going on in baseball. On top of that, we look at, of course, what's going on in all of college sports, where now schools are going to be allowed to directly pay their players. This is something that's kind of been in the works. There's a lot of things, a lot of details to run down. We'll be taking a look at all of that and so much more. What it means, how much money can a player truly make? And, well, is this the end of traditional college sports? Well, it was already over 4 years ago. Joe, how was your weekend, brother?
Turn my mic on.
No, I didn't turn your mic. I didn't pod you up. I just making sure.
On purpose? Like, what the heck?
I was getting through the rundown, brother.
I was about to say, I'm just like, all right, well, I'm just going to sit here and just chill for a minute while we're going on. No.
I know you got responsibilities over there, Joe. I mean, we're prepping for the RCAs, which is going to be Monday.
It is Monday.
Next week, where we're going to be able to represent all of the great things in sports here in North Alabama. So I know we're all doing a lot of stuff. You're tweeting out the show. Of course, we're looking forward to quite the eventful summer, Joe.
Yeah, no, it's going to be eventful. And going, 5 minutes ago, back something you mentioned. But it was 1:30 a.m. is when that first Auburn game wrapped up.
Golly.
1:30 a.m.
How do you expect these guys to be at peak performance if you're keeping them past their bedtime?
Well, I mean, obviously, thank God there wasn't any West Coast teams playing that you didn't have to really focus on anything like that. But again, it was 1:30 for me. It was 2:30 if you were actually in Carolina watching this.
Golly.
Yeah, no, it was fun. It was because I honestly was just casually watching it. And what happened is it was game one of the Stanley Cup, I believe is what it was. Yeah. And no, game two. And game two was taking place the Stanley Cup. And that game was amazing. I then turn over because you started texting me about it. Look, I've started getting to the point now that when I watch a game, I just put the phone off to the side.
Yeah.
Because I get distracted.
You fully immerse.
Well, if I start going down X, then I start focusing on what's happening on X and not actually what's happening in the game.
Understandable.
So I just start watching that. And so you start texting me about the hockey game, and I wasn't looking at my phone. And then next thing you know, I just go, let me turn it over to Auburn. I went, oh, it's a rain delay. They're going to start back in 15 minutes. I guess I'll just go ahead and stay up. And then I had no idea of what the score was because I'd totally forgotten to look at that. It's 6-3. And I went, well, this sucks. And then about that time, boom, 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 Auburn ties it up. And I'm like, all right, well, looks like I'm going to stay up for a little while. Going to stay up all for Auburn to lose it in the 10th inning. And then they turn around at 2 p.m. the next day and they lose 4-1 to go ahead and get eliminated before I think Tennessee even played their first game. Like it was boom, boom, boom is how it was happening, and Coastal Carolina's going. So yeah, that was a little hectic and a little crazy, but no, I stayed up all very late Friday night into Saturday watching that Auburn game.
It felt like that was just like the thing to do this weekend. Stay up late, watch sports, and anytime we get the opportunity to, we're going to take that opportunity and run with it because Joe, it's our job, and if we're doing our job.
That's the reason.
If we're doing our job late at night, then at least it feels like we're doing something. But Coastal Carolina does push forward. They win in that second game 4-1. And then, of course, Tennessee got underway against Arkansas. And let me tell you, that was a shellacking in that game, too. Game 1, very close, very entertaining. Game 2, wow, the Hogs opened up the door and just started hitting them out of the park. And let me tell you, for somebody like you, Joe, who watches Japanese baseball because the atmosphere is so electric, so wonderful.
It absolutely is.
I bet watching this Arkansas-Tennessee game, of course, not very happy about the outcome, had to give you a little bit of a smile watching that crowd just go absolutely bonkers.
Well, because this is what makes it gravitating. Like as far as atmosphere is concerned, because I am a person that watches and pays attention to atmospheres. I've got SEC Network on right now and they're showing it. Like the atmosphere in Fayetteville, Arkansas this weekend was absolutely tremendous. You had so much electricity going through it. Then you had the Arkansas and Tennessee going back and forth, the jawing, everything that happened in game 1, which again, people want to get upset about. And I'm like, dude, it's baseball. Like this is my thing. If you want, this is the only sport where literally you have a person on a mound with a weapon. Quite frankly, baseball can be a weapon.
Can't bring it to school.
You can bring a baseball to school. You just whatever.
But it's on that gray line,
And if you're talking trash, you literally step into a batter's box without padding, and you can take one off the back, off the thigh, off the hip to shut you up.
Which happened quite a bit for Arkansas.
And that's the part about it. Everybody wants to get so upset. It annoys the crap out of me when everybody wants to get upset because players are showing emotion. And then what happens is you get these guys, I just want them to play the game and swing and say, look at the scoreboard and then go back to the dugout. Yes. And that isn't fun.
The same type of people that say that also say that banana ball is ruining baseball.
Well, and what it is it's all about drawing attention and drawing interest and all of this. Arkansas and Tennessee drew so many eyes this weekend and brought so many casual viewers in that were seeing the intensity and everybody's going, wait, is this what college baseball is all the time? Like, look at this atmosphere. And I said this to my wife Saturday morning when I woke up and, late because God knows I was tired. I look at her and I said, it was 1:30 a.m. I'm watching this baseball game and it had it's about an hour and 45 minute, 2 hour long rain delay. And the stadium in Plainsman was packed at 1 o'clock in the morning. It was packed. Like that's what you want. Look, I understand the sitting on the hands thing. Like you were talking about Japanese baseball. What's really crazy is had the Auburn game going, and because it went so late, I had the beginning of the Hanshin Tigers game going.
It was bright and morning.
It was out the same time. I'm watching Japan baseball, which normally I watch on replay or at least catch the last 4 or 5 innings when I wake up in the morning. Or I've got that on my one screen, and I have the Auburn game on the other, and they're going live at the exact same time. And look, even in Japan, the atmosphere and everything that you see is mostly in the outfield. From foul pole to foul pole, from down actually around the base and everything. That's kind of like your traditional baseball, but if fans want to cheer, they can. They want to use the little sticks and everything they can. But all the cheer crowds and all that's all behind the fence. So what is wrong with all of the everybody's mad about the jawing and the talking back and forth and everything? Dude, literally, I've lived my life by this when playing. If you want to shut me up, beat me. That's it. If you don't want me to talk, put a 10 spot up on the board. Then I'll shut up.
Yeah.
Like if I'm down 11-1, which is kind of what was happening between Tennessee and Arkansas, yeah, I'm not going to be jawing that much. I'm not going to be talking that much. But if it's a 3-3 ball game and me jawing's going to get you in the head and it's going to help my batter get a pitch right down the middle because you're trying way too hard, you're darn right I'm going to sit there and talk about your girlfriend. You are absolutely right. I'm going to sit there and tell you don't even need a cup in your pants. I'm absolutely going to do all of that because that gets in your head. And that helps my team. And if me jawing or not jawing is the difference between me going to Omaha and not, you better believe I'm going to talk smack.
Yeah. And it's not just the players, Joe. I mean, this crowd, again, was pretty much, I mean, they weren't talking smack, but there was smack that was being thrown. I mean, whenever there is a pitcher that is doing his routine and you get the crowd getting in his head by counting how many times he's touching the ground and then he pitches the ball, that's something that I would not be able to handle. On top of that, I don't think Liam Doyle could handle it because in that game too, the smack that he was throwing at the Arkansas players was not like him. It was a little off his game. And of course, that's what led to 5 runs going in and then kind of a fall apart of Tennessee's pitching or pitching lineup. So I look at that and I think this is a part of the game. The fans are involved. The players are involved. This is what college sports is all about. You're going to the game to watch it. It's like a movie. You are going, sitting quietly. All eyes are on what's going on in that field, which, by the way, I felt like I wasn't even there. I felt like I needed glasses watching this game, Tennessee, Arkansas, because of how bright it was.
Oh, it's extreme. It was.
Golly, I thought I needed to fix my TV.
It's Arkansas. There's like nothing there. It's flatland. Like, seriously, it's all the state has.
Just a ball of sun.
You talk about, you look at the state of Alabama and think that, oh, well, we only have 2 college teams that people really pay attention to for the most part. Think about living in Arkansas. They have 1, and it's in the top left corner of the state.
No, Little Rock.
They have 1 in its top left corner. Paid attention to Little Rock for a week. I mean, this is life and death. Everything is the way that it is when it comes to baseball with Arkansas.
Yeah.
Like, this is their sport.
Yeah.
Basketball, they can get emotional. Obviously, football is so much fun in Arkansas just because, again, you have nothing else to do. They're all events. They're not building this stadium that Arkansas plays in just because they want to keep up with the Joneses on every other thing. They're building it because they need it.
Got to fill them
because they have so many fans that come to a baseball game there. Like, and then you just played each other like 2 weeks ago.
Yeah. I said it the wrong way. You got to fill those seats. No, you got to get seats for those butts that want to get into that stadium and watch
the standing
baseball.
Room only. I mean, you could have went standing room only if you'd have wanted to.
Yeah.
But this is what baseball is in the SEC now. There's a reason why, really, if you start looking at the renovations that Alabama did to the Joe, heck, that stuff's kind of outdated now compared to what we're seeing in LSU, between what we've seen with Arkansas and now what Tennessee has been doing and everything, like with what Auburn has done and is still doing with their baseball stadium. Like, all of this stuff is all because of how big baseball is becoming, especially in the SEC, and where we have to sit here and go, well, crap, we only got 2 teams in Omaha. You still have 2 of the 8. Now, you could have had 4. You really were never going to have an opportunity to have 4 with this weekend because the way that everything was built up. You could have had 3, but again, Auburn got, yeah. And then it was just bad. Like, that's why it is. So now only getting 2, and I put that in quotes, isn't such a bad thing.
No.
Especially with how good this is, and every single game you turn on is, oh, well, this SEC team has this player, and this player. This player's projecting the top 15. This player's projecting the top 10. This guy right here is looking to be a top 5 draft pick. This guy is going to be in the bottom half of the first round. You're like, God, he sucks. Then you think to yourself, wait, there's like 20-something rounds in baseball, and this guy's in the bottom of the first round.
Mm-hmm.
Never mind. Like, that is what SEC baseball is.
And you talked about it. Arkansas as one team that you really look at within baseball, within football, within a lot of the things. Alabama, of course, too, when it comes to Auburn and Alabama. And, of course, you got the smaller teams that we focus on as well, the South Alabamas, the North Alabamas, all that. Right now, though, Kentucky's got 3 teams that you can really eyeball. Of course, the University of Kentucky lost in the first round. Then you can look at Louisville, who pushed past Miami this weekend. But there's one other team.
There is.
The Racers of Murray State. And they're facing off against Duke today. And let me tell you.
They have horse heads. They have horse heads. Like their fan base, like we laugh at Auburn fans or Alabama fans for some of the things that they'll do during a game. Murray State fans are bringing horse heads to the game. Like there are people like those sticks that you used to ride as a little kid when you want to act like a cowboy. They have those in the stands. Oh, they have little masks.
And they're filling the stands as well.
Yes.
You could hear them. And this is in Duke, but you could hear the fans. They're getting loud. It's not too far of a drive for them, but for Murray State to do what they did to Duke at Duke in game 2 is something that put them on notice as a team that is completely legit. You can't hold anything against them. I would still say that this would be a Cinderella story because next year, Joe, this is the year for Murray State to go on and try and win something. If they don't, all their players are gone. I mean, they are all going to be dispatched going to these different schools for a chance to make more money and win a World Series. If this isn't the year for Murray State. Murray State won against the Blue Devils 19-9 yesterday. Now, this game, a lot closer than the score makes it out to be because it took until the 7th inning for this thing to get busted wide open, and Murray State just started hitting nonstop home runs. It started out, though, Joe, I don't know if you watched this one, 2 home runs in a row by Duke. Just right out the gate. So energy swings right out the gate.
So with the way that baseball is now, you look at certain stats and be like, "Oh, this guy's amazing." Like those, like there's like used to go, "All right, this guy's a really good hitter if he's batting over 300." Mm-hmm. Oh, this guy's a really good power hitter if he's in college he has 15 plus home runs. Yeah. Oh, this guy is really good at stolen bases if he has 10 plus, something like that. Yeah. And so you start looking at all this other thing. Well, now it's OPS. Like that is when you look at WAR and all this other stuff, but a lot of people don't understand that. But OPS is very, I say easy, but OPS is literally slugging percentage and on base percentage. It is the amount of times you get on base plus the bases that you get to. So if you get more doubles, then your OPS is going to be higher. If you get more triples, your OPS is going to be higher. If you get more home runs, your OPS is going to be higher. It's how it works. So Murray State has 3 players right now that are all above 1,000 in OPS. Okay, Carson Garner is batting 1028, 1,028. You have Jonathan Hogart, who's batting 1145. He has 20 home runs this year and 26 RBIs.
Oh, I didn't finish off.
26 doubles.
Duke had those 2 home runs to start the game.
Yes.
What are you doing? Why are you zooming into my face? The camera. I think it's because the 2. Does the number 2 do this to you? Does it do that to you? It gets you excited? But Jonathan Hogart, he comes back, hits a home run himself, first at bat. No. 7 on the year. Yeah. Lead off home runs.
And I'm looking at it, and with Jonathan Hogart, like this is a guy that and I'm looking right now to see what his classification is for this year, because I haven't paid attention to it. He's a redshirt senior. So he's going to be done after this season. But a guy like this that goes and plays for Murray State, he does so that he can get the attention of baseball and he can go ahead and get a higher draft pick. It is absolutely insane to see how these players are playing with Murray State and how they're hitting this well. And yes, this is the kind of team that is very similar to your Little Rocks. Like when you look at your historically used to say this about Coastal Carolina, like those mid-majors, those small schools that are playing in the College World Series, your Long Beach State, your Cal Fullertons, like those teams. And this year it just happens to be a team from the middle of Kentucky. Yeah. And they're not the only team from the state of Kentucky that's even playing in this.
No doubt about it, Joe. And yeah, again, Game 3 is today, so I would definitely not miss out on that one. Joe, we got a lot of other things to hop into today, and we have a wide open first hour, so the listeners are able to join in on the conversation. I'd love to talk with you guys about all things sports and maybe even touch on some video games, because I know there was a few video game shows throughout the weekend as well. 256-576. 97.7 is the number to get into the Blitz, presented by the wonderful people over at Fleming Roofing and Restoration. The guys you need to talk to about all of your roofing needs. If you're having any roofing problems, make sure you look them up online at FlemingHSV.com. They show up similar to, well, Murray State in their first super regional, mind you. Top into a break when we get back, continuing on with the college baseball and maybe what the players will be making next year. Oh, college sports is, it's on a crazy spin.
This is the Blitz with Joe Hunk and John Abraham. 256-576-4977.
The state's largest orthopedic group is growing to meet the needs of the patients in our community. The Orthopedic Center has long been the most trusted name in orthopedics in North Alabama. So as our area continues on the fast track, so does the need for premier orthopedic care anywhere and anytime you need it. TOC is proud to announce the opening of our new locations in Albertville and Hampton Cove, along with the grand opening of our newest office in Decatur. These clinics will offer the same high-quality orthopedic care you have come to associate with TOC, with the convenience of being closer to home. As a patient, your time is your most precious asset, and we recognize that at TOC. That's why we are also proud to announce the opening of our urgent ortho clinics to handle those bumps and bruises that need prompt attention. These clinics are available to care for acute orthopedic injuries with no appointment necessary. With 38 physicians, 20 centers of excellence, and now more than a dozen locations to serve you, TOC will continue to be the name you turn to for the best orthopedic care at the right time. Visit our website at visittoc.com for more information. TOC, helping you live a better life.
Tom Abraham back from my friend Ross Roberts at Valley Equipment Rental. It's springtime, so let's get that garden tilled with a tiller from Valley Equipment. And while you're at it, snag a power washer for the house and the driveway. And if you're putting in a sprinkler system, they have the small trencher that you need. And you can even rent a Skag zero-turn mower and much more to get your property in shape. Valley Equipment, not just for the contractor, but the homeowner as well. 2 locations on the North and South Parkway. Valley Equipment Rental. Learn more at valleyequipmentrents.com.
Market volatility isn't slowing down. If you're nearing retirement, now is not the time to wait and see. Every day of uncertainty can put your future at risk. It's time to diversify. I'm Jeff Jr. with Trajan Wealth, and I want you to know you can create certainty, locking in guaranteed income for life. This means predictable, stable cash flow, even in turbulent times. You've worked too hard to leave your retirement to chance. Right now, there are options to receive up to 30% upfront or annual growth of up to 10% for retirement income. That's up to $30,000 upfront or up to $10,000 per year on $100,000, all guaranteed for retirement income. Don't wait. Call Trajan today at 256-208-9000. That's 256-208-9000.
Annuity guarantees are based on the claims paying ability of the issuing insurance company. Any examples provided are hypothetical. Annuities are issued with prospectus and sales brochures and should be reviewed carefully before funding as features and benefits vary. DBA in most states as Trajan Wealth Insurance Solutions.
Would you call a plumber for a root canal? The same goes for selling your timberland or farm. Choose someone who understands your property and can help you on the front end so you can capitalize on the back end. I am Bo Butler with Southland Realty and Auction. As a guide, I have put many hunters in position to take a shot. It's time for you to take your shot. Let's talk about putting you in position to sell your property. Call me at 256-609-0512. Remember, Bo knows land.
You've seen those beautiful epoxy floors in a garage or carport area and have probably wondered, how can I get that done? Well, the answer is Lifetime Epoxy Floors. Lifetime Epoxy Floors is an A-plus rated business with the Better Business Bureau and has been family-owned for over 14 years. They do both residential and commercial applications and get most jobs done in a day. Lifetime Epoxy Floors' motto is, we love what we do, and it shows. Visit lifetimeepoxyfloors.com to schedule a free estimate today and check them out on Facebook.
Want to save some money?
I can take money and I can make it into more money.
Just check out our zone deals online at 977ESPN.com. We are 977 ESPN The Zone.
A very fitting song, Joe. Batter Up. Nelly. I mean, I've heard this song before. I never knew it was Nelly. Is this one of your songs?
About 95% of those are my songs. Yeah. No, I cannot remember when this song came out. I won't say it was definitely early 2000s.
Jeez.
Probably say 2000, 2001.
You know, that's interesting. I've been on a Deftones kick recently. So I'm just like, all of my music so far that I'm listening to this past weekend was like from the 2000s.
Wow, yeah, it was 2000 is when this one came out.
Well, I'm from the 2000s. Joe, you're from like the 1980s.
I was born in the 80s.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm really more of a 90s kid, but okay.
Well,
cool.
yeah, because your brain starts developing. It's weird how that works. You know, you're 3 years old, you're just like, goo, goo, gaga, and then 4, and you're just like,
you know what's crazy is I've sat and I thought about this because I'm always like thinking to try to understand my kids better. I try to think about, okay, what was I like whenever I was their age, that sort of thing.
Yeah.
And it just now, when you were saying that, just now hit me. My son is 6, which means that if it was the equivalent of when I was 6, was when Hulk Hogan and Ultimate Warrior wrestled in WrestleMania 6.
Oh, well, Tom would say when he was 6, he had 2 children and he was working at his dad's farm or whatever, you know, all that stuff.
Yeah, I mean, he was lucky he avoided the draft in World War II. So it was one of those that I'm thinking is like, wow, 6 years old. Like, I don't really remember anything from 1990. Gotcha. So I'm sitting here thinking about it with my son, and I'm going, you know, he may remember 2 or 3 things when he gets older from his entire year of being 6.
Do you think you have like you have like a first memory, you know, of being born?
Ooh. I mean, not being born, no.
Like obviously after being born.
I can't remember what probably my earliest memory is. I remember getting stuck in the washing machine outside of my great aunt's trailer.
Hide and seek, I'm guessing.
Yeah, just unfortunately, the person that was supposed to be coming and find me never did. Mainly because they didn't exist.
It's a good hiding spot.
Yeah, it was a great one.
So, don't do it though. If you guys are listening and you're a young kid, don't hide in the washing machine.
If anybody ever questions my redneckery at all, I spent summers on one of those back roads in New Hope where you turn off the back road and then you're just on like the 2-wheel dirt path road.
Yeah. I was in your stomping grounds, your old stomping grounds this past weekend.
Oh, were you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't think I've ever been through New Hope, the little town of New Hope.
Yeah, it's changed a little, not much. And so in the 2, like the dirt road would take you to my great aunt's house that was a single wide trailer in the middle of nothing, except for the fact that her husband used to keep I don't want to say
shotguns.
It wasn't. No, he didn't keep shotgun. He was a holiness preacher.
Oh, okay.
But it was. It wasn't a dump, but it was more like, you know. Anyways, he had this in his backyard.
It was a pile.
It was like an acre, like an acre or 2 of just junk. And so I would always just go through there, and that's how I spent my entire summers, would be playing in this junk field.
Nice.
Really sounds smart. So I got stuck one time in a washing machine because I was playing, I think I was playing Sesame Street, and I was Oscar the Grouch.
Gotcha.
And I could not get out.
So
and it was the middle of summer in a metal thing.
Oh,
it's not really smart.
Dude, Joe, you could not, like, in another world, you're not here.
I've done a lot of dumb things in my life, and that was probably my earliest memory, and I cannot tell you how old I was then.
I think the dumbest thing and the first thing that I remember me doing was being tricked into thinking that this Hot Wheels phone that I had, it was just like a home phone. I don't know if it was ever an actual, useful phone, but I was told that there was a Hot Wheel inside of it. So I remember for like a day straight, I was slamming this thing against the ground, trying to rip it open, and I just could not. It was a brick. And I thought there was a Hot Wheel inside of it, but sadly, that was not the case. Regardless, we were talking a little bit of baseball and college baseball, and as we move forward within these super regionals, of course, Duke and Murray State are the only 2 teams left to face off. I look at Murray State, and I'm not trying to just like push this narrative that Murray State's going to win it all. I think this is the best team.
They could lose today.
They could lose today, and they could be gone, and this conversation would be, very dated. But regardless, if Murray State does win today, that would mean there's a represented 7 teams or 7 conferences, that are going into the College World Series. Of course, the SEC has 2. The ACC has 1 with an asterisk next to it. The Sun Belt has 1. Even the Pac-12 has got 1 in Oregon State as they push past Florida State. And Joe, I got to say, I'm more for this than I am for a loaded SEC or a loaded ACC. I mean, am I alone on this one?
Well, I just and I don't even look at it like that.
Mm-hmm.
Like I understand what you're saying about the balance and everything with Murray State and coming if Murray State does win, but at the same time, I'm just thinking like this is a very balanced College World Series where it'll possibly keep majority of the country actually into
watching
it. Yeah, I mean, I think that the underdog fans are going to be rooting for Murray State if they get past Duke today. You're going to have, I don't think a lot of people are going to be cheering for the actual Louisville side of a lot of things.
Mm-hmm.
You have your LSU and you that's in Arkansas, and Arkansas again still the best offensive team in this entire thing,
no doubt.
And what they can actually do, which you saw yesterday, is absolutely outlandish with how many times that they can actually start going deep and how well they can hit. So that's is part of it. I mean, I still see this as an SEC being able to be the one that wins the national championship. But even with your traditionals, Oregon State hasn't been in this since they won back-to-back championships. You have a lot of cool storylines in it that I'm really interested in. But I also worry because it isn't your name brands outside of people have forgotten how good UCLA baseball used to be.
Yeah.
And UCLA's in it. Like, that's cool. Like, I love that part.
You kind of have three teams that are on that West Coast side. Of course, Arizona, a little less on the West Coast, but you have Arizona. You got Oregon State.
That's my biggest surprise, by the way, the weekend.
UCLA. Yeah. Why is that? I mean, because
North Carolina was so good.
It's an upset victory, and some would say that it's one of the biggest upset victories of the tournament. I mean, UNC again was a 5th seed, but Arizona has got something working for it. This is the one game I started watching it when it came on at like 11 o'clock, and then I got 2 innings through, and I didn't watch the rest of it, Joe.
Oh, it was North Carolina. That's the part that surprised me because on Friday we had North Carolina and Arizona going, and it was probably first inning. And North Carolina hits a bomb down the right field line so high. There was a net that they have set up behind their right field wall, and the ball disappeared over the net. And next thing you know, you just see it drop down back into the frame. Like it was a moonshot.
Out of the field or in the field?
No, it was out of the field. Like it's a home run.
If it goes that high where you lose it inside the play?
No, you lose it in the camera shot and it hits like the top of the net and you just see it fall straight down. And I'm just going, how far would that ball have hit? And it surprised me that Arizona was able to go to North Carolina and able to win that series. I would have said out of all of those series that were taking place, I would have given North Carolina for sure they're going to be the one that wins.
Yeah, and that's kind of where I come off of saying I looked at Arizona like they were probably about to be pushed out to the side. UNC looked too good, and going into that, I wouldn't have doubted you. But I look through this, Joe, and I see a lot of interesting teams. I see some, and I know you're talking about there's not a lot of name brand. I think Louisville's name brand enough. Their basketball team, of course, putting them on a map. Their baseball team consistently being decent. But this is only their 5th, I think it's their 5th or their 6th appearance to the College World Series. Miami, on the other hand, golly, they have a lot, but it's not going to happen this year. And LSU, I mean, LSU is a returning favorite. And this was a team that if you're looking at it and you haven't followed the entire season, you're looking at a team like LSU to win this whole thing.
Well, let's not forget that Louisville came out of that Vandy regional. Like this is what's also, it's not just that Louisville is playing in the College World Series. Louisville came out of the Vandy regional, which means that they were arguably the worst of the 2 seeds.
You're not wrong.
And so they're almost a borderline 3 seed with them going into this, which again, I never liked Louisville. I don't know.
I don't think it's ever been a team on my radar.
I mean, again, it's even with the football side of it. They're like, wait, Louisville's good at baseball. The UCLA part of this to me is the most interesting one because for people that don't know their history in the way that like UCLA in baseball, like that has for the longest time, it was basketball, baseball, and then football. Like that's how it has basically been because how good they are. They play at Jackie Robinson Stadium. And for people that don't know where that's at, that is the baseball stadium that is right beside the Rose Bowl whenever you go. Like, it's one of those, iconic names because they named the stadium after Jackie because he played there and because he was from the city of LA. And so it's a team that obviously, if we don't pay attention to anything across the Mississippi, and it was outside of like the state of Texas. And so this part to me is Arizona going in where nobody really thought about them being able to win this because they were also a 2 seed that was going into it. Chanticleers in Arkansas, those 2 teams are baseball teams, obviously is LSU. So the Oregon State is going to be fun just because they haven't been in there for so long and people don't, or so long for in a few years. And a lot of new baseball fans that are watching don't understand how good Oregon State baseball is. Like
this is just Pac-12. I mean, this is going back to the Pac-12. Pac-12 used to be a monster in baseball. I mean, we're talking about a team like Arizona as well. I mean, this is a Big 12 team right now, but just a year ago, they were a part of the Pac-12. That's how quick this has all changed and how quick we forget that certain conferences were pretty elite at certain things.
Yeah, look, this is the biggest benefit for UCLA going to the Big Ten.
Mm-hmm.
Is the baseball side of this, because when they were part of the Pac-12, they had to deal with Oregon. They had to deal with Oregon State. USC obviously was a traditional power when it comes to baseball as well. And Arizona, like, you look at this and Arizona's a Big 12 team now. UCLA is a Big 10 team, but both of those schools used to be Pac-12 schools. So if you go back just 365 days, you now say the Pac-12 would have had 3 teams in Omaha, which is absolutely outstanding for them to have. They would have 3. The SEC would then have 2. And then depending on what happens between Duke and Murray State, you could either have 2 ACC teams in or an ACC team in and a G5.
Well, like you said, though, that is a majority history. And a lot of that stuff dates back to even before we were born. And another team from the Pac-12 that you could have thrown out there was California. They used to be a pretty big powerhouse. They've got 2 World Series, but that goes all the way back to 47 and 57. But they've also been to the World Series quite a bit of time. Last time being 2011, though. So, again, all kind of dated and something that we're all kind of forgetting about because the landscape of college sports is changing so fast. And as we found out just this morning, well, players are going to get paid, and it's not coming from NIL anymore.
So what's really crazy, well, it's also going to come from
NIL.
NIL.
It's still coming from NIL.
But what's crazy is going back to the Auburn baseball game, this news broke during the rain delay of the Auburn Coastal Carolina game. Like, because again, late Friday night news dump is how it's happened. There's nothing in this to me now that is saying that NIL is going away. All this is doing now means I look at this more about the other non-football programs. Because with the amount of money that is now going to be given out to these universities are going to spread this across, because I'm assuming this is a Title IX thing where everybody kind of has to get paid equally is what I am assuming. So that would mean that if that is the case in it's Title IX, then all of the programs are going to have to pay the women's golf players the same amount that they play the football players. If that's a Title IX thing.
Yeah, I don't know.
Well, because if it's coming through the university and the university is the one giving out the money, then that would assume that would mean that this is a Title IX issue. I'm assuming.
So with all the information that still needs to come out about all of this, if it is a Title IX and it does lead to golf players get the same as football players, I mean, that I don't want to say that they don't deserve the money, but at the same time, colleges look at these players in different respects. Of course, you're looking at the sports that bring in the money. You want to pay those guys that are playing that sport that brings in the money, the most money. I would see a lot more, and I feel like the only way you could pay them equally is if you utilize the NIL and took that away from the kids who are playing football. So I'm not 100% sure on that. And I don't think it would be the right way to do it if everybody got paid the same. That's just not, I mean, this isn't the type of country that'll work.
Yeah, but that's what Title IX is.
Yeah, but
I mean, you have to give the same amount of scholarships to women as you do to men. So that's what Title IX is. I mean, this, and look, this is also part of the thing with football is that's where NIL then comes in. Like if you're going to make more money, then look, the amount of money that these universities are going to give you may not even be compared to anything that you're making when it comes to NIL. I look at it as a baseball guy, this to me, if with all the scholarship opportunities that come in, this now means that all the rulings about baseball scholarships and going from 11 and a third or whatever it is to now going to 24 scholarships means that every player on the team has a scholarship. To me, that's way more important. Like that means that, I wasn't sitting there, me and my buddies like, well, I got money for books. All right, well, I got money for room. All right, well, I've got money for this. Let's all start compiling our scholarship together to try to do this. Everybody gets their scholarship, which is way more important.
So the interesting thing would be how much is everybody going to make at these schools?
Look, then that's where also this whole conversation, and I don't even know if it's a rumor or if it's a fact about like what's happening with the college football video game, if that is true. Because a lot of people don't know this, but it's absolutely outstanding that there's a rumor going out around over this past weekend that the amount of money that schools will get paid from EA Sports and stuff is going to be based on the usage of their team in the game.
Which is really cool. I think that there's definitely a way to follow that. I know that there's going to be a lot of people playing Alabama. Up against Alabama.
This helps your Kennesaw State.
But it also helps the smaller schools because of the way that you like to play the game, Joe.
This is actually legit. On3 is the one that put this out, and it was actually a few days ago, and it says that when EA Sports comes out with the game in July, like it's going to do, schools will be compensated in a new way. Payouts will be determined by the amount of time users play as teams in the video game.
Wow, I feel like this is ahead of its time. I feel like this is something that shouldn't be going on right now. But it is, and it seems a little too good to be true. And I'm not like super excited about it. This isn't me being super excited. I'm just excited that this decision didn't take 17 years to make, even though, of course, college sports was gone for about 10 of those years. I think this is huge for college sports.
In a sample scenario by an alternative site, the total royalties in a university pool would be $5 million with 700 million games played. If users play 7 million games as school A, the school's allocation would be 1%. Therefore, school A would receive $50,000.
Interesting.
So it's all going to be based on, and I don't know if this is online, if this is franchise. I don't understand what this is going to be.
I think it'll just be all of it, because that would be the easiest way to compile those stats. Every time you click on a team, it could go to a server that would tell, of course, these schools or EA who's playing as who, and that's when you go about it.
That's where it's different than what we're talking about with the NCAA, because with the NCAA, this is all about a blanket payment. This is where everybody gets X, Y, and Z. And look, you talk about the scholarships, and I don't think it's going to be fair if the women's rifle team gets as much money as what the
the scholarships are one thing, but getting the money directly, and I get it. What I'm saying. That if the schools are paying, then would it just be the scholarships? I'm trying to understand it on a different level.
It would be the scholarship, I believe, and a payment in which that is. But see, again, with the scholarship, they're not saying that your scholarship is a blanket scholarship for whatever it is. The amount of money that it would cost the university is based on what classes you take and what books you buy and all this other stuff. Like it's a variable that way. It's not going to be based on your gender or anything along those lines. It's going to be based on what classes you take, because again, some books can cost $20. Some books can cost $115. Some books can cost $300. It just varies on that way, but everybody gets the opportunity now.
Gotcha.
Like again, if this goes through and they go with blanket scholarships for all scholar athletes, then that would mean that, the girl that's running track is going to get the exact same money from the university that is going to be going to the football player, which is good for them as far as once you leave the university, based on what you use your money for, you have a nice little base that you can start your life and your career and everything like that. If you are the track star that's not going to make it to the Olympics, as compared to the football player that's eventually going to go to the NFL, it may not mean as much.
Does it even matter if you're the track star? You could just be a track runner. You could be decent at it.
No, that's what I'm saying.
As long as you're there, you are good enough to make that money, because everybody will get paid equally.
And that's where I'm wanting to see how this is going to be distributed based on the Title IX and everything. The initial cap is supposed to be $20.5 million, and the school is going to be awarding $2.8 million in new scholarships. It can only make $18 million in NIL payments to athletes.
And that money is also going to be increasing throughout the next 10 years, by the way.
Yeah. Says this math has no impact on the NIL deals that athletes make with non-school entities. And so as long as those deals are approved from the commission process and all that. So there's a lot more to it than what we're thinking about, because I am curious about the Title IX impact.
Yeah, and I do think that will come into play. Title IX it means that everybody will be making the same. It doesn't matter what the gender is. And that's just something that's a base. If the schools do pay, that means that they have to kind of follow under that Title IX. That's at least what I'm gathering.
See, right here in this article I'm reading, it says Georgia and Texas Tech, among some other schools, have said that they plan to allocate large percentages of money that they pay to athletes to football players and men's basketball players, because this money will be coming from the schools rather than third parties. Most believe that just that alone is going to result in a Title IX lawsuit. It says, as objectors have noted that in their legal arguments, Title IX states in part that no person shall, on the basis of sex, be excluded from participation in, be denied the benefits of, or be subjected to discrimination.
Well, I don't think that the NCAA wants to get back into another multi-billion-dollar legal settlement. So I think that is probably the way that they're going to go about it. So we understand that now. Players from any sport at any school are going to be getting paid the exact same amount for their scholarship, as well as the whatever extra they want to give to these players. The majority of the money is still going to come from the NIL. Is that what we're coming at? I mean, you could get $200K from the school, but then you could also get $2 million from the NIL collective.
And is for the fourth string long snapper. Yes, you're probably going to make more from the university than probably what you would NIL.
Because you weren't probably making anything by NIL.
Well, but that's what I'm saying. And so this would be it. But as far as the starting wide receiver, yeah, you're probably going to make more NIL.
Okay.
It's going to be based on what your ability is. And also, again, this is the part that always blows me away, is we don't really talk about this once the game kicks off. Like for when Alabama kicks off, we don't bring it up. Now, people brought it up with Nico because he was the first and we knew how much he was actually getting paid. But we don't really bring it up all that often, especially on Saturdays. It's not about, oh, well, you're making X amount of dollars and we're paying you this right here. We say this in the NFL, but we don't say it in college. That was all anybody was talking about during the Women's College World Series.
Yeah.
How many times did you say that on the air last week? Oh, well, this pitcher's getting paid $1 million.
Well, it was the thing to start it.
But that's what I'm saying is that's what everybody was discussing. We don't say this on Saturdays. So in a lot of this is because that information doesn't come out as publicly comes out. But at the same time, what we have found out that over the course of the last 4 or 5 years, the amount of money that the players are making has not changed the way that the atmosphere is. The atmosphere in college football has not changed because the wide receiver over there is now making $2.3 million just to go out and catch the football and drive around and go to class every once in a while. Like, we don't talk about that during the games because it hasn't become a factor in the games.
I think if anything, it just means more. Oh, geez. It's not just the SEC. It's just college sports in general, everybody. I want to know your guys' opinions on it. 256-576-9077. We'll hop into a break when we get back. Joe, have you ever played Black Ops 6? Have you played Call of Duty?
No, Call of Duty.
You played Call of Duty? Okay, you don't know what Black Ops 6 is. Okay, so it's been a minute.
Well, I mean, again, I play Call of Duty.
Okay.
It'll be whatever game. I'm not paying for it because the campaigns are normally horrible.
That's fine. Well, I'll talk about that as well as a little bit more on the other side.
Yo, Hunk. John Abraham, 256-576-4977. This is the Blitz on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
This is Brent Musburger's VSiN Action Update on 97.7 ESPN The Zone. Drivers who switch to Progressive have an annual savings of nearly $750. Progressive.com.
The Atlanta Braves have Chris Sale on the mound today, a $1.90 favorite against the Milwaukee Brewers at Aaron Savali plus 160, 7.5 flat the total at American Family Field in Milwaukee. The Braves have lost 14 of their last 17 games. Scotty Scheffler plus 275 to win the 125th playing of the U.S. Open at the Oakmont Country Club outside of Pittsburgh. Rory McIlroy, who missed the cut of the RBC Canadian Open, is plus 850. Bryson DeChambeau is 9-1. NHL Stanley Cup Final Game 3 tonight. Florida $1.42 home ice favorite against Edmonton plus 120, 6.5 under the total. Mike Sennett, 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
Your Rocket City Trash Pandas are back for 12 games in 13 days at Toyota Field, starting June 10th through the 22nd. The back-to-back homestands contain 5 giveaway nights, 4 post-game fireworks shows, 2 brand-new team identities, and the in-park debut of the number 57 Trash Pandas race car. Get your tickets for the double homestand now at TrashPandasBaseball.com.
Tom Abraham here for my friends at Your Home Window Company. When it comes to replacement windows, exterior doors, or new window screens, Your Home Window is the answer anywhere in Huntsville, Athens, Decatur, or Hartselle. Your Home Window windows and doors are made here in the USA and come with a lifetime warranty. When replacing those old windows or doors, Your Home Window has the solution for you. In-home estimates are always free and financing is available. Learn more at yourhomewindow.com and see clearly with Your Home Window. Visit yourhomewindow.com to make an appointment today.
Normally, when you call a roofing company, all you hear is you need a new roof. Not when you call Fleming Roofing and Restoration. Since 1965, the folks at Fleming have been focused on what you need, whether it's an easy repair or a full roof replacement, commercial or residential. And when it comes to storm damage, you want Fleming on your side. They know all the ins and outs of insurance claims and will guide you through the entire process. Log on FlemingHSV.com and book your free estimate today. Fleming Roofing and Restoration. We show up.
By now, you know about Eagle Masonry and Insulation, and maybe you know that Eagle also does landscaping and dirt work. But how about after paint work? Shower doors, shelving, and mirrors, all taken care of by Eagle, the same Eagle that takes care of all your masonry, insulation, and landscaping needs. Eagle brings the same level of expertise to all these disciplines, and they're ready to provide you with a free quote. The website is the same, insulatewitheagle.com, as is the phone number, 256-755-1556. Give them a call and see what Eagle can do for you. Eagle saves you time. Eagle saves you money.
Specializing in simple and affordable rentals, McCurry Van and Car Rental can make sure you have just the right vehicle for your next family vacation, weekend getaway, or if you just need transportation while your vehicle is being repaired. McCurry carries Ford Transit vans and Mercedes Sprinter vans, trucks and work vans, and more. And they offer discounted rental rates for long-term rentals. Now with 4 locations: Athens, Muscle Shoals, Coleman, and Huntsville. Log on McCurryRentals.com to make your reservation now. That's McCurryRentals.com.
This is Steve Moulton for Tellini's Italiano. Tellini's Italiano is located right in front of the Walmart, right off of University, behind the McDonald's. More or less catty corner from Topgolf. It's one of my favorite places to go to, and if you go there, you know what I'm talking about. If you haven't, you need to try the baked spaghetti, add a meatball. Also try the baked ziti with meat sauce, add sausage. You'll thank me. Save room for some pizzas and paninis as well. And don't forget about dessert as well. The best cheesecake I have had here in North Alabama is at Tellini's Italiano. Find out for yourself today. That's Tellini's Italiano, right off of University Drive in front of the Walmart. Located online at Tellinis.com. That's TELLINIS.com. Let's get some Tellini's tonight.
The Drive with Wes Neighbors and Steve Moulton. Weekdays from 5 to 7 p.m. Only on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
Hey girl, I like your flavor. Wish I could be your neighbor. Must get caught by the way you shaking your birthday.
Gotta admit, every time I hear that commercial about Tellini's, I'm actually craving some Tellini's. I'm also craving Bubby's Diner, Corlejos, some golf, all of that good stuff. And if you guys feel the same way, head on over to 977ESPN.com. Click on our Zone Deals icon and start saving some money today. Joe, you said you played a Call of Duty game.
Yes.
Oh,
sidebar real fast. I'm working hard on trying to find somebody to hop in with us tomorrow because I've been trying to read these articles about everything to try to further understand everything. And I've seen I've seen different people saying that this is going to be a blanket payment across all things where like every sport is going to get equal pay. Mm-hmm. And I've seen other ones where there's like a 75, 15, 5, 5 breakdown.
That's something
I'm very confused.
I've heard about the split, and it seems like that's probably the more reasonable thing that's going to happen. And obviously everybody making the same amount of money would be amazing, but that's just not how the world works. But we will get that information for you as soon as we do. But I do have some information. Joe, there's another Call of Duty game coming out.
Yeah.
If you guys do know, Alabama works very closely with Activision and Call of Duty as
Didn't they come out with some like gear last season?
every single Kalen DeBoer was rocking that Call of Duty Black Ops 6 thing, and this upcoming year is another game, and it's Black Ops 7 because they've ran out of ideas. They honestly are just doing the same thing because they're scared to do some new stuff, even though
because the new stuff fails.
It does fail.
So they basically just redo the game every single year.
And it's funny because they're doing Black Ops 7, but they're saying, hey, we still got robots. They got robots in Black Ops 7. It's just another futuristic game. When was the last time you played a Call of Duty, Joe?
Oh, actually, I played Call of Duty 2 nights ago. But
Really?
this was God, I forget which one this was about. It was like the Russian intelligence. I can't remember
Cold
which
War?
version. Maybe Cold War.
Okay.
Yeah, that's the one that I played.
I can
Because
see
I don't
playing
like the futuristic stuff. I want to play that. I'll go play a futuristic game. Like
Yeah.
I played Call of Duty because I wanted to
immerse
myself in an atmosphere of, war now or war back in Vietnam or war back in World War II. Like that's the stuff I enjoyed. I don't care about, the way it's going to be because I could go watch a Marvel movie. For
Gotcha. Well, I got another game that I might throw your way that you can play with the kids, and I think you'll enjoy just a little bit more than Call of Duty Black Ops 7. Either way, second hour coming up next. We'll see you guys there.
Phone lines are open now. 256-576-4977. This is the Blitz on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
I'm here with Thomas from Talent Heating and Air. With the temperatures going up and temperaters going down right now, now is a good time to get your heating and air system looked at. Thomas, when somebody calls, you guys answer.
That's right. The phones are staffed by us. They're manned 24/7. We're ready to come out and take care of you that day.
How do they give you guys a call?
You give us a call at 256-503-4490.
And you can find you guys on the World Wide Web at
talenthvac.com.
And now is a good time to do this because you guys are offering a special deal.
That's right. We're doing $49 tune-ups this spring. We're also doing free second opinions. We offer that year-round. Somebody comes out, they say you got a bad compressor or leaking refrigerant. Give us a call, see if we can save you some money.
Thomas from Talent Heating and Air. Thomas, one more time, that phone number.
256-503-4490. AL certain number 21014.
John Abraham here from The Blitz. Look, I love a good party, so why not join me on June 27th at Bobcat of Huntsville as we celebrate their new location on Highway 20 in Madison, right beside Redstone Harley-Davidson. I recently got to check out their massive 13,000 square foot location, and I was amazed. Don't just take my word for it. Come on down to Bobcat of Huntsville and enjoy the day from 10 to 3 p.m. Food, fun, and a whole lot of door prizes will be available, so don't miss out as the Blitz will be live on location June 27th.
This is Steve Moulton from 97.7 ESPN The Zone, and this is What's Happening. Be sure and download our app. Just search 977 ESPN in your Google Marketplace or your Apple Store, depending on your device, so you can take us wherever you might go. And you can also check out our latest zone deals. Head over to our website, 977ESPN.com. The top left banner reads, "Savings never tasted so good." Click on that, then enter in the big zone deal store for half-off zone deals of Lawler's Barbecue, Sea Salt, Carrabba's Italian Grill, Bubby's Diner, Corlejos Mexican Grill, Bad Daddy's Burger Bar, Divergence, Full Moon Barbecue, Bigfoot Little Donuts, Hickory Store Barbecue, Good Company Cafe, Apple Lane Farms, the Decatur location, and rounds of golf at Cherokee Ridge Golf Course and Gunter's Landing. And that's what's happening.
I'm here with Stan McDonald of Jacob Title. Stan, I've heard that every real estate closing at Jacob Title is a very big deal. Why is that?
Wes, I'm reminded of a very impactful statement that I heard from Coach Gene Stallings years ago when he talked about big games and little games. He said he didn't like that comparison. He says, because try losing one of those little games. And if you ever do, it ends up being the biggest game all year long. Well, it's the same thing with real estate closings. Every game, every closing is a very big deal at Jacob Title. Because when it's your closing and your contract on the line, it's a very big deal. And we understand that at Jacob Title.
So it sounds like whether your client is a first-time residential buyer or a multi-million-dollar investor, they can expect your A game.
That's exactly right. As a matter of fact, when you bring your real estate closing to us at Jacob Title, we understand it's all about trust and confidence. And when Stan McDonald tells you that a chicken dips snuff, you can look under his wing for the box.
And like Beebs likes to say, there's no doubt about it.
This is Brent Musburger's VSIN Action Update on 97.7 ESPN The Zone. Drivers who switch to Progressive have an annual savings of nearly $750. Progressive.com.
The Atlanta Braves have Chris Sam on the mound today, a $1.90 favorite against the Milwaukee Brewers at Aaron Savali plus 160, 7.5 flat the total at American Family Field in Milwaukee. The Braves have lost 14 of their last 17 games. Scotty Scheffler plus 275 to win the 125th playing of the U.S. Open at the Oakmont Country Club outside of Pittsburgh. Rory McIlroy, who missed the cut of the RBC Canadian Open, is plus 850. Bryson DeChambeau is 9-1. NHL Stanley Cup Final Game 3 tonight. Florida $1.42 home ice favorite against Edmonton plus 120, 6.5 under the total. Mike Sennett, 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
Log on today, 977ESPN.com. Joe Hunk, John Abraham, 256-576-4977. Welcome to the Blitz.
Second hour, final hour, best hour. 97.7 ESPN The Zone. Joe Hunk, John Abraham, and the Blitz on this Monday morning for you as we get everything going. It's really halfway there. It's not even going at this point in time because it's 10 o'clock.
Yeah, we're also the second show, so they can just talk
They kinda
ball.
got it going.
We're just
We're the show that everybody's listening to while
Yeah.
you're hanging out in the office, like as you're trying to get your day going.
Yeah, maybe like the second.
That's what it is.
I always think that we are the second cup of coffee. You know, we're the one that really gets you into a work mode or play mode, whichever one you want to get in. I don't.
256-576-977. And I'm continuing to read stuff about the NCAA agreement. In fact, the commissioners of the power conferences are holding a Zoom meeting right now discussing everything. And so new information is coming out, and it was interesting to see what some of these members are kind of saying about how the revenue and giving more money to the men's sports and some of the women's, and how a lot of people do believe that this is probably going to lead to like it's some sort of NIL and Title IX lawsuit. There's also the conversation about what is now considered the NCAA's NIL Go program that is supposed to be limiting the pay for play stuff that's going on with, that sort of thing.
I thought everybody was getting GoPros. I'll be real with you, Joe.
No, absolutely not. It says, it's about, is this is supposed to be a way to stop all the boosters solely just paying for play and not actually having true endorsement deals. This is how it's supposed to be, that now you're supposed to, based on what I was reading, something about registering what your NIL deals are, and they have to be approved.
We'll get the eyes on the money now. Possibly.
Something like that. Now, so that's where I'm really, that's the reason why I said, okay, let's see if we can get somebody on that actually has the legal answers to this, because I am on a radio and there are many people listening to this, and I am not going to give you the wrong information.
Yeah. All you need to know, there are two options out there. One of them is the one that the NCAA and college sports is kind of leaning towards, but at the same time, the Title IX might be the reason that it doesn't go that way. So we'll continue up that. And this confusion is presented by the wonderful people over at Fleming Roofing and Restoration that are not confused on what's wrong with your roof. You need to just get it fixed. Stop holding off on it. I'm looking at you, Alex. I'm really looking at you. Those are the guys that you need to talk to about all of your roofing needs. If you're having any roofing problems, make sure you look them up online at FlemingHSV.com. Fill out your free quote, and remember that Fleming always shows up. Joe, the Braves lost again. I just had to throw that out there. They didn't just lose once. They lost 3 times to the Giants.
Me in the balls, why don't you?
I'm sorry. I mean, they didn't lose just 3 times, Joe. They've lost 6 in a row. And now, you know what? They haven't lost just 6 in a row. 7 in a row. Their last win came from a shutout against the Red Sox. What is going on with the Braves? Because this is just, it's madness. I mean, the only way we're going to see this team win is
if the other team is having an off day. That's at least the feeling that I'm kind of getting from this Atlanta team.
All right, so God, there's so many layers to this onion. Where would you like to start with that? Because that's not a very easy question to answer.
I mean, okay, we talked about this team is very talented. Okay, usually the talent can get you pretty far, but there's got to be some holes maybe in the lineup. Obviously, the pitching is a little bit shaken up, but I mean, I see a good team. I don't see the productivity.
Well, the team itself, obviously, the back end of the bullpen thing. So, man, trying to figure out which specific way to try to answer this is kind of making my head hurt all together.
Which onion peel you want to take?
Well, no, and
first?
it's because, again, like if you look at the entire ability of the whole, this is still a playoff team. I think it is crazy to think about this because they went into this weekend 7 games under 500, which is exactly where they were after they left California the first time. I mean, now they're like 0-10 in the state of California. I don't think have they won a game in California yet this year?
They haven't.
Yeah,
well, let me see the A's. Did they play the A's? They
no,
haven't played the A's yet.
They have not played the A's in Sacramento.
Give us the A's.
And so, to me, again, this goes down to basically your manager. This is now it, because somebody's going to have to fall on the sword at this. This is not a team that should be 10 games under 500. And now you're looking at there's some head needs to roll. Like that's kind of where you're at, and something needs to shock the system.
No.
Like every single morning I wake up and I am surprised that I've not been texted or I've not seen an update saying that Brian Snicker has been let go. And not because of what he's done for the organization, nothing along that. It is about the way that this team is playing and the way that it should be playing. And those things are not meshing up, and they're not meshing up big time. There is no reason a team with this ability should be 10 games under 500. There is no reason for that.
And I feel like they're trying to add those pieces, but even we talked about the whole Craig Kimbrell thing. They pick him up, and then just a day later, they put him down to assignment.
So, and I think that the DFA for Kimbrell has more to do about his contract than what it does anything else.
Gotcha.
He did come in. He pitched a game. He pitched an inning. He did very well. Obviously, he got the Braves out of a jam. He was able to strike out a guy. He did walk one guy, but didn't allow any runs. And so Braves fans like, wait a second, listen. Kimbrell was still never going to be the long-term answer in the bullpen.
Apparently not. He was a very short-term answer.
Very short-term.
One-day answer.
I think what's going to happen is, because they signed him to a 1-year, $2 million deal, I think that with the DFA, this may be more of about a renegotiation than what it would be anything, because I don't think a team is going to pick him up on waivers. That's what DFA is. Most of the time when you DFA somebody, they go on waivers. Anybody can pick them up. And again, it's only $2 million in Major League Baseball, which is not that big of a deal. No. But it is also, okay, ERA hasn't been what it really is. I think the Braves would like to sign him back under the league minimum as far as veteran minimum for him to get signed. I think that's kind of the direction they'd want to go, which is going to save them some money. The other part about this, and this is another reason why the Snicker part is bigger to me than even with the Craig Kimbrell thing, is this team right now, if you would have to guess where they are in payroll for 2025, between 1 and 30, where do you think they sit right now?
Give me 5.
You were close at 6.
I'm always either right on it or one off.
So you're at 6 right now, and you are now looking at a team that is 10 games below 500. You have a couple of things that you can consider right now, because you are in a direction that, honestly, if you want to trade one person, Ozuna is probably going to be the one to trade. He's a free agent coming up at the end of the season. He's making right now somewhere around $16 million. He is the guy. You would love to get rid of Iglesias, but there's no way that you're going to be able to do that.
Golly.
Chris Sale, you're going to lose at the end of the season unless you want to pick up the club option, which right now, $22 million for Sale with the way that he's been pitching may not be a bad thing. But there are too many players on this team that the Braves are going to be losing after 2026 or 2025 that you are going to most likely look to dump if you could. Ozuna is going to be the biggest option. The biggest issue with this is, before I would even consider trading Marcell Ozuna, because we are now, what is today, June 6th?
Yep. No, wait,
June
9th. What?
June 9th.
Turn it around.
Yeah, flipped it
June
upside down.
6th was our last show.
Yeah, June 9th. If that's the case, you have a little over a month and a half to figure out where you're going to be. you are going to be in a worse position on July 31st if Snicker is still the manager.
Can you give me the rest of those teams that are ahead of the Braves on the payroll?
Oh, ahead of the Braves on the payroll?
I'm going to
Okay.
tell you, there's the Dodgers and the Yankees are 1 and 2. That's for sure. I'm going to say that the Astros are probably in there somewhere.
The Astros are below the Braves. They are at 9.
Okay.
There is one team in division that is above you.
Oh, are we playing the game?
Oh, absolutely.
I don't have the sounder.
It's a fun John Abraham guessing game.
I gotta get the.
Well, you've already named
It's a different segment.
You said the Yankees and who?
The Yankees and the Dodgers.
Yankees and Dodgers. Yankees are 4th. Dodgers are 2nd.
Okay.
Actually, there are 2 teams in division that are above you.
It's not the Nationals. It's the
Nationals. I think have like the second
Phillies.
payroll.
The Phillies.
Phillies are right above you. They have the 5th highest payroll.
Okay. All right. Wait. Before I finish this, I feel like I got to do my due diligence.
Get to play a fun John Abraham quiz game. John Abraham.
Don't bastardize the theme song. I just sang John Abraham Cruise Game.
Yeah,
John
what?
Abraham Cruise Game. John Abraham Cruise Game. All right. The Phillies.
Okay, the Phillies
Yankees.
are right above them. Yankees are 4th.
Dodgers
are 2nd. You're missing 3rd and 1st.
All right. Here we go. I'm gonna put on my my knowledge pants. Give me the Cubs.
Cubs are right behind the Braves at 7.
Ooh, that's good. That's actually really good for them. Then the Padres have to be ahead of the Braves.
Padres are at 10.
What? Okay. So I'll go to the American League then. The Twins. Twins are a notable team. They get the pay.
I don't think the Twins have ever spent money. 17th, and this is active 26-man payroll, by the way. This is not the total payroll. This is what is currently on the field for the Braves and for other teams.
Okay. Rangers.
They are 8th.
Oh, the Red Sox. So the song's not long enough for me to lose this game.
13th.
Jeez. All right. I've done enough guessing. My last guess is going to be I already guessed the Red Sox. Give me the Guardians because they're a pretty solid team and they've been trying to pack up their team, their squad.
Hold on, I gotta scroll down now.
Oh no!
Yeah, you pick the team that's 26th in baseball and payroll.
Good on the Guardians though for being 34 and 30. Not too bad, not too shabby, I will say. Who are those next few teams? I feel like the Rays probably have the option to be the highest payroll.
They're 27th in baseball and payrolls. Dude, you don't know much about payroll and baseball.
No, I have no clue. I know that there's no guard on it.
The
no
Rays do not spend money at all.
Golly,
they do not. The A's do not spend money at all.
I knew that much. For the Rays, I thought they would have more money left over, but at the same time, they're not at their normal stadium. They're not making the same income, so they can't pay the same players the amount. But they were so good last year.
Active payroll. Let me do a little math on this because the Rays right now, their 26-man roster is worth $56.9 million.
Give me the average.
Okay. Now, here's what's wild about this. And the team with the highest payroll right now for the active 26-man roster has a payroll of $259 million. Okay. Now I say that because if you just brought up the Rays, that would mean that this team that is number 1 in baseball and payroll has 4.5 times as much in their payroll as what the Rays do. And the Rays aren't even the lowest paid team in baseball.
Golly. All right, give it to me, Joe.
The number 3 team in baseball as far as their active 26-man roster is the Toronto Blue Jays.
Dang it.
And then the number 1 team, you should have guessed, is the New York Mets.
Oh my goodness!
Yeah.
Oh, I forgot Juan. He's taking a majority of it.
Yeah,
dang it.
$259 million in payroll. Damn. The Braves are sitting right now at 6th in active payroll with $173.3 million. This is where the Snicker part plays into it, because you cannot be spending that much money on your players and be 10 games under 500. People want to get upset about the Rockies and how historically bad they are. Their payroll right now is only $72.6 million. The Marlins, who has the worst payroll in baseball, and it has basically been the case for like the last decade or 30, $44.5 million payroll.
And they're second in the West.
The Marlins are. That's impressive being there in the East.
Oh, so I get the Marlins and the Mariners. I get them mixed up.
The Mariners, you brought them up. The Mariners right now, their payroll is $120 million. That is basically halfway in it. It is 16th overall.
Jeez.
But you see return on investment. It's not that these players aren't worth that money because Austin Riley, Ronald Acuna Jr., Matt Olson, Chris Sale, Ozuna, all of them are worth that. The problem is the productivity is not there, period. So now you've got to make bigger decisions because for me, which one would you rather do? Would you rather trade off parts of this team and go ahead and punt on the year and keep Snitker?
No.
Or would you rather fire Snitker, try to get a jolt to the system, use the defibrillator and try to wake the team up, keep these players and see where you're going to be on the 30th of July, where you really have to sit down and then think about who you're going to trade?
I could see why why the fans would be connected to him. But at the same time, the fans are more connected to the players. The organization might be more connected to him, but it's an option that needs to be made. It needs to be turned into reality because you can't lose the players the Braves got because the Braves do have a solid squad. But if there is something wrong, I would look at the higher ups. I would make that change because we've seen it more times than we haven't. When you make changes, things change. So for the Braves, I could see them winning a few games or at least winning one of these games that's on their schedule. Because right now it has just been, we had a little bit of hope, Joe. We had a little bit.
No, you should have more than a little bit of hope.
They were 25-25, and we were thinking this whole thing is dead and gone. This team is great. They're going to move past this, and it'd be wonderful. But now they're looking at the Brewers, and they're thinking, wow, this might extend a little bit longer. But we get the Rockies. You can't do that, though.
No,
because then you're going to hit with another team.
Unfortunately, like if I'm Atlanta, and you've got a 3-game series with the Brewers that starts tonight. First pitch is going to be at 6:40 here on 97.7 ESPN The Zone. We'll join it in progress after the drive. To me, you fire Snitker on Thursday, June 12th when the team's back.
Boom.
And the reason is because you fire him on the 12th, then you turn around and you have a 3-game home series with the Rockies. I don't care how bad you are, you should be able to at least take 2 of 3 from Colorado. You should be. Then you get another off day, and you have to play the Mets 7 times over the course of the next 10 days. And then you go in and play the Phillies. These are not easy games, and you have got to be able to do something to jolt the system. Because if you leave Snitker in it as your manager, on this, and he goes into this Rocky series as the manager and say they sweep the Rockies, you can't fire him on the 16th because everybody's going to say, well, hold up. Maybe he's turning everything around. Maybe we're turning everything around. This is what's going to happen. But you've already lost 3 road games on this road trip. You're about to go into Milwaukee, a team that is above 500, playing on the road. Yeah, you are most likely looking at a scenario now that you could lose 2 of 3, come back home on the 12th, you let Snitker go, and then whoever you're going to put in as interim, which unfortunately I think probably would be Freddie Gonzalez, you would then turn around and you would have them be your manager from here on out, starting on the 13th, which happens to be a Friday.
Well, Joe, as the Braves contemplate what they're going to do with their leading man, the guys over in Fayetteville probably aren't doubting Dave Van Horn's abilities to win games and push their team to College World Series as they did just the other day. So we're going to hop into a break. When we get back, Otis Kirk from Hogville.net is going to be joining us, and he's going to be giving us more of the info that we need to know about how good this Arkansas team truly is. Can they win a World Series? Because from what we saw against Tennessee, the reigning national champions, they looked pretty capable. We'll continue when we get back here on the Blitz on 97.7 ESPN The Zone and WZZN TV.
Joe Hunk, John Abraham. You can watch the Blitz live Now on X at 97.7 ESPN.
Let's talk about the X's and O's of family entertainment. Every parent in Alabama knows the importance of being able to draw up an activity that'll get you out of the house for a couple of hours. But it needs to be affordable. It needs to be family-friendly. Above all, it needs to be fun. Now, let's talk about high school sports. Bang for your buck, school sports provide the perfect game plan for your family. You'll enjoy all of the drama and excitement competitive sports offer. You'll be supporting the future leaders of our community in a meaningful way. Best of all, you can take the entire family without breaking the bank. Heck, you won't even dent it. Now, enough chalk talk. Let's get out there and see what's playing at the high school in your community. School sports. Good for our kids, good for our community. This message presented by the Alabama High School Athletic Association and the Alabama High School Athletic Directors and Coaches Association.
It just works. Picture this. You're at home doing whatever it is you do. Then the power goes out. Then what? Well, at my house, life goes on. We have a Generac automatic home standby generator from Current Electrical and Generator Services. For your home security and peace of mind, get a free personal consultation on how a Generac automatic home standby generator can protect you. Current Electrical and Generator Services. Call or visit us on the web at HuntsvilleGenerators.com. You've got the power.
You've got to experience Toyotathon at Bill Penny Toyota. They've got the selection with over 700 new Toyotas to choose from. And they've got the extras with Bill Penny perks and a 10-year unlimited warranty. So get on over to Bill Penny Toyota today and experience Toyotathon. Bill Penny Toyota in Huntsville and online at BillPennyToyota.com. Bill Penny's Toyota 10-year unlimited warranty is valid through the 10th year of ownership. Valid on new vehicles only. See dealer for details.
When you call most roofing companies, all you'll hear is, you need a new roof. Not when you call Fleming. At Fleming Roofing and Restoration, we're focused on your needs, whether it's an easy repair or a full roof replacement. Folks around here have trusted Fleming since 1965 for all their residential and commercial roofing needs. And as the area's storm damage experts, Fleming knows all the ins and outs of the insurance claims process. Log on FlemingHSV.com to schedule your free estimate today. Fleming Roofing and Restoration. We show up.
Specializing in simple and affordable rentals, McCurry Van and Car Rental can make sure you have just the right vehicle for your next family vacation, weekend getaway, or if you just need transportation while your vehicle is being repaired. McCurry carries Ford Transit vans and Mercedes Sprinter vans, trucks and work vans, and more. And they offer discounted rental rates for long-term rentals. Now with 4 locations: Athens, Muscle Shoals, Coleman, and Huntsville. Log on McCurryRentals.com to make your reservation now. That's McCurryRentals.com.
No representation is made that the quality of legal services to be performed is greater than the quality of legal services performed by other lawyers.
A wise man once said, if you take care of old folks and children, everything in the middle will take care of itself.
Hi, I'm Danny Aldridge, lawyer in Alabama and Tennessee. In the next 20 years, the number of those folks over 65 years of age will more than double. In our golden years, the most important goal is to be treated with dignity and have control over doing what makes you grateful with those you love. At the Aldridge Law Firm and the Legal Town Center, we're dedicated to help you with these goals, and we'll be there when life throws you those inevitable curveballs. Let us assist you with your legal needs, whatever they may be or become. You may reach us by phone at 256-534-3188 or online with Dan at danaldridgelaw.com. Just remember, we're here to help. Whether it's personal injury, wrongful death, fraud and cheat, or estate planning made complete, we're here to help.
The Drive with Wes Neighbors and Steve Moulton. Weekdays from 5 to 7 p.m. Only on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
As we continue on this wonderful Monday, be careful, especially if you are listening outside of Madison County, because there are rainstorms that are starting to roll through, especially south of us right now.
Your Tuscaloosa's getting messed up right now.
They are, and right now Birmingham is just getting absolutely just pounded with rain and bad storms that's starting to come through central Alabama. So just if you're listening on the 97.7 ESPN The Zone app, be careful. because the rain is starting to become a little bit more not dangerous, but it's going to be a lot heavier throughout the day. So just keep paying attention to all those weather. Look, we were getting alarms all throughout the weekend just because of all the storms that have been coming through. Those weather radars and those weather devices that you have inside of your house, extremely important.
Yeah, and it's interesting. They were also playing, or they had the tornado warnings actually going this weekend, even though there was nothing going on. It was obviously just a test, but it's still, they're just testing it. They're getting ready for more, and you got to make sure you're covered and make sure your roof's covered as well. Fleming Roofing and Restoration, of course, the main guys that are following us through this journey. And you know, that song was very fitting, Joe, to start up this segment.
I was also thinking to myself that if there would have been literally only having a roof would have been the only thing that would have kept Arkansas in the ballpark this weekend.
That is the truth.
That was it.
Because they're looking like a team that could run it all at the end of it. And I want to get a little bit more information on this squad. Of course, we touched on it at the beginning of the show. But to help us out a little bit more is a friend that I like to call the hog tire. I could say that. Yeah.
Is he a cowboy?
It's brand new. It's a brand new phrase I just wanted to throw out. It's Otis Kirk from hogville.net, and he joins us on the Neighbors Wealth Management Hotline. How you doing, Otis?
Doing great, man. How are you guys doing?
Doing well. Otis, he's got you sounding like you are a hog tire, like you're a cowboy, man.
I don't know if I'm a cowboy. I've been called everything, man. So cowboy's probably better than 90% stuff I've been called, man.
Well, you know what? Those nicknames, that's how people remember you by. At least you're being remembered by it. So it's one thing. And right now, this Arkansas squad is being remembered for hitting home runs and beating Tony Vitello. And I need to know a little bit more about this win.
Yeah, I mean, they just, they went through the regional undefeated and played pretty good ball and really good ball, actually. But when Tennessee came to town, you knew that was going to come up another notch, the level of competition. Yeah. And yet they played even better against Tennessee because they had to, because Tennessee's obviously better than Creighton and North Dakota State. And yet, 4-3 in the first game Saturday, it could have gone either way. Arkansas won. You kind of felt like they were in control for a 4-3 game. But, yeah, one big hit by Tennessee, and it changes. But it didn't happen. And then Sunday, they left no doubt on that game, especially in I believe it was the fourth inning when Maxwell hit that grand slam. Davalon hit a 2-run the inning before, and then Maxwell hits that grand slam. And it's 7-1 all of a sudden, and Liam Doyle's out of the ball game, and you feel like Arkansas is in control of that game, and they were. And they're going to Omaha with a lot of momentum. I mean, they haven't lost since the SEC tournament when they fell to Ole Miss, and some fans thought the sky was falling on them. And I said, it's not going to matter, folks. Arkansas is going to be a 3 or a 4 seed in the tournament. And they were 3 seeds. And I mean, people panic over, really, to me, the SEC tournament, if you have your place secured, it's a meaningless tournament. Yep. Now, a team like Ole Miss did help themselves by going to the finals and got a better seed. Because I actually thought, when I said that, I actually thought Arkansas would be a 3 seed and they'd be matched up against the Ole Miss regional. Instead, Ole Miss moved up and Tennessee kind of moved down or stayed, and so they ended up playing Tennessee because I really thought it'd be Ole Miss. But anyway, to say that, Ole Miss, I mean, Tennessee was another level of talent from what they saw in the regionals, but Arkansas upped their game. And I think they'll do that. And they need to do that again because they're going to play LSU on Saturday in the College World Series. They can't get away from these SEC teams, man. And it's crazy that the number 3 seed and the number 6 seed, the 2 highest seeds are going to play in the first round. I think they should reseed that, but for Arkansas, it may be the best thing. The way Zach Root's pitching right now, you probably want him going against LSU next Saturday. Or this coming Saturday. So, I mean, I don't know it's a bad thing, but it just seems like it'd be more sensible to reseed this thing with the 3 and the 6 seed, easily the 2 highest seeds, and they're going to play each other right off the bat.
Yeah, no doubt about it. And I want to talk about the atmosphere a little bit. I know it was a sunny day in Fayetteville. I was needing to wear sunglasses while I was watching this on the TV. But the fans, they showed up as they always do.
Yeah.
Talk a little bit about how that kind of changed the game.
Was kind of odd. Well, I mean, not odd, but it was kind of neat at the end of the game doing the hog paw or dog paw. They call it hog paw.
Hog paw.
When the team when they won, they went to the stands, you know, and even out to the hog pen and with the trophy stuff, and got the fans involved and they were in the press conference last night afterward. They were very over and over crediting the fans for, you know, it was hot out there. Well, it was out both days. It rained in the morning both days. There was talk of rain maybe bothering the tournament, and then the forecast changed. It's going to rain in the morning, but it'll be gone in the afternoon. Worked out perfectly, and yeah, but it was hot, and it was particularly hot yesterday. And yet the fans showed up, they stayed, and I'm going to tell you, even in a blowout, I don't know if 50 fans left early. I really don't. I don't think they did. And they stayed through it and watched. And, you know, of course, that's easier to do when your team's winning and you know they're going to win. So they stayed around and watched them. But, yeah, the fans deserve – the atmosphere here at Baum Walker, I mean, see, everybody, a sports writer, says the atmosphere where they cover the team is second to none. But I can't imagine there's a better baseball atmosphere than at Arkansas. I really can't. And I mean, it's not like I've been to every venue, and I'm not trying to be an expert, but I'm just saying this is unbelievable here. These people show up, they stay loyal to the program, and you know, and they have with this one. And they may gripe when they lose a game, but they'll still show up and cheer them on, and they help the Hogs. I mean, that atmosphere is just different. The opposing players talk about that all the time. It's just a different atmosphere. Or the kids in the transfer portal that come to Arkansas from other schools, even big schools, talk about it's just a different atmosphere here.
Otis Kirk joins us from Hogville, and the atmosphere and what this team means to the city. We were talking about earlier. I mean, again, you've got a few other schools, Arkansas State, you know, Little Rock, those types that are, but Arkansas is the only game in town. Like, it is basically the only thing that this state pays attention to. How is it that this program has grown to become and means so much to this fan base?
I think it starts with Frank Broyles. I mean, some of the younger people may listen to that and think, who the heck is Frank Broyles? Or, you know, that was an old man. Listen, Frank Broyles was a genius. He had a vision. He could see the future. He predicted a lot of stuff that's come true. And yes, he retired years ago and even passed away. But the things that he said back then, the vision he saw for this program was just different. And he created this atmosphere. And in Arkansas they've made some good hires, especially with Van Horn in baseball. I mean, you know, the guy, fans get mad at him when they lose a game like they do any other coach. But let me tell you, I mean, the guy's pretty consistent. I mean, he puts a great product out there on the field every year. In the last 2 years, yes, they came up short in the regionals, but man, that happens in baseball. I mean, for one thing, they had some injuries, and they didn't have enough depth to overcome it. This year, they've had injuries too. Every team has injuries. You know, you hear that every team's got injuries. Yeah, they do. But this team lost Wiggins and some other players, and even Gage Wood for much. But they had enough depth and talent. Quality talent and quality depth to overcome it. That's the difference in this team and maybe some recent teams at Arkansas. This is by far the most talented team. It's a lot more. They went to the World Series in 2022, and this team is a lot more talented, by far and away more talented than that team. This is one of the most talented teams I've seen at Arkansas. I moved up here in '97.
Wow.
And I covered the Hogs before I moved up here from my hometown. But I'm telling you, I'm not going to tell you it's the most talented team I've ever seen in Arkansas, but it's the most talented team I've seen in many, many years. I would say this is easily one of Van Horn's 2 or 3 best teams ever in Arkansas.
And it's so spread out. I mean, you've got players that you know are top 5 in hitting, and then players that are like top 5 in home runs or hit by pitches and all this. But then you have it, you know, like your shortstop, and I know he's got a Samoan name, and I'm going to screw it up.
He Aloy, yeah.
Yeah, Aloy. He's like a top 15 player in the draft this year. Like, again, the talent that you guys have on this field is absolutely remarkable, because it's not just like a team has to strategize for one player.
Well, no, and they think of this. What a lot of people don't realize, they've got a 300 hitter. If they got in the portal, Carson Bowles, an outfielder, can't even get on the field. He hasn't played. He hasn't played in the post. This is a 300 hitter, and I'm not talking about just a few swings. I'm talking about several at bats during the season, during the regular season when they had some midweek games and stuff. He played a lot of midweek games, but this kid's a 300 hitter, and he can't even get on the field. I mean, they haven't had that kind of depth in the past. You know, you had Kendall Diggs last year was a key outfielder on his team, one of the key players. He can't get on. I mean, he comes in the 8th or 9th inning for Logan Maxwell is a defensive replacement. It's not really as much a defensive replacement. It is an injury because Maxwell's had some hamstring issues. I believe it's hamstring. Maybe it's calf. He's had lingering issues in his legs, and I want to say hamstring, maybe it's calf, but whatever. And sometimes they'll take him out in the 8th inning or 7th or 8th inning and let Diggs take his place, kind of save 2 or 3 innings on his body. And they've done that. But Diggs they were so dependent on Diggs last year, and this year he can't even go get the game hardly, except as a late replacement. That's the difference in this thing. They've hit the outfield. He recruited 4 quality outfielders from the portal. Maxwell and Davalon put on a show yesterday. Justin Thomas has been Mr. Consistent out in center field. And then Carson Bowles can't even get on the field. And then, you get Aloy's younger brother, Kahio Aloy. You've got Cam Koshel from Vanderbilt. And you lost Nolan Susan. There again, that's another injury. Nolan Susan, you're starting second baseman. What do? They move Koshel to second, put Reese Robinette in at first base. I mean, and then you resign Brent Iredale, from junior college to play third base. So, this is a team. The biggest weakness they had much of the season was starting pitching. The bullpen's great. The hitting's great. The defense I think, is second in the nation, I believe, in fielding percent. So the starting pitching was a question, but then Zach Root and they got Gage Wood back. That certainly helped. But Zach Root stepped his level to another. He took his game to a completely another level, maybe 2 levels. And then, they've got enough quality arms like Landon Battleshees was the Ohio State Friday night starter last year. He didn't even pitch in the Super Regionals. He can start. These guys like that. I mean, they've got guys that were Friday night starter at Ohio State, can't even, didn't even get in the tournament, get in the game. And so he may start. I'm sure he'll probably start in Omaha somewhere. Because if you advance, you're going to have more pitchers. Everybody knows that. But what I'm saying, they've got some quality depth this year that was missing in those past years. And you're right. That's the difference. Right now, they don't have a weakness because starting pitching can't be called a weakness anymore, and especially the top 2. And honestly, when you get past the top 2, everybody has a question mark or 2 among their starters, But Arkansas is an Ohio State Friday night starter and other guys to fall back on if they need to at that 3rd and 4th starter. So, yeah, they got a midweek starter that pitched really well, Colin Fisher. So they've got guys that they can put out there on the mound. And with their quality bullpen, they don't have to give that. Those guys don't have to give them 7 innings. If they can give them 4 innings, then the bullpen's going to pick the other 5 up and go to battle and get the win.
Otis Kirk from Hogville is our guest, talking all things Arkansas baseball right now. And Otis, one thing I noticed about this lineup, this roster, a lot of these players have played in the summer leagues, like the Cape Cod League or up in New England, and it's helped kind of push them to be a little bit better. And on top of that, the use of the transfer portal is definitely prevalent, and it looks like there's just going to be more avenues now moving forward to bring in this talent. How do you see that working?
Well, exactly. Ryder Helfrich struggled a little bit last year. He went to summer league, and played, and now all of a sudden he's hitting 300, batting clean up to the Hogs. It was the MVP at the regional. So, this is a guy that struggled last year as a true freshman. This year's second year came through after a summer league play. But, out of the portal was just huge. He got Zach Root, Landon Battleshees. He got Kahia Loy. He got Cam Koshel. And then those 4 outfielders. And he got others. But I'm just saying, just those 8 players alone made all the difference in the world, man. And, Dave, and here's the thing. With the season they had this year, more transfers or more of the elite transfers are obviously going to be interested in them. Last year Tennessee had won that national championship. People are attracted. These guys that have 1 or 2 years left when they're in the transfer portal, they want to go where they can have a chance to do that. Yeah. And Arkansas hasn't won the national championship like Tennessee did, but obviously they're the highest seed right now. And I'm going to tell you, I wouldn't bet against them. And if they get past LSU in that first round, they may be home free. They're not home free. I shouldn't say that.
Anything can happen in baseball. We all know that.
Exactly. But I think if they can get past LSU, I think that's going to build their confidence, and I think they're going to be in a pretty good run there. I just do. I mean, LSU is a great team, man. I mean, that's the one team everybody was talking about Tennessee. I said the one team in the SEC that should scare Arkansas is LSU. Yeah. LSU's a very good team. I know they struggle against Little Rock, but let me tell you, I mean, I don't think they got up for that. I mean, Arkansas beat North Dakota State 6-2, lackluster game. When you play Little Rock and North Dakota State and have losing records, I don't know what you have the same. I mean, look what LSU did to West Virginia. Yeah. That team is very, very talented at LSU, and that's the team I think more than anybody. Maybe it's because I'm more familiar with them than I am some of these other teams that we're talking. That I know are going to be in Omaha, but I just know LSU. But LSU every year has all kinds of talent, and they've got good coaching. It's just a great program, and I think the winner of that game Saturday. Now I don't know the time yet. You guys may know. I don't think they've announced it, but I know it's Saturday. But it'll be at 1 or 6 Central Time. But I think the winner of that game, if they take care of business going forward, they should be in pretty good shape.
Well, this is a very spread out field. I feel like this. Yeah. I mean, we're showing, a bracket right now that's getting to the point where we almost are representing 7 different conferences, and that's going to be awesome. It really is just up to Murray State against Duke, because of course Duke wins 2 ACC, 2 SEC, but. I look at what this team did against Tennessee, and of course the crowd plays such a factor. I felt like that definitely went into why Liam Doyle didn't have the productivity that he typically has. That's probably the one thing that's bad about this whole thing is that's the last game you guys would be playing in Fayetteville. Is that a concern for you?
I don't think it is, and here's why. Because I think Arkansas will have as many fans as anybody else out in Omaha. I mean, these fans travel well, and I mean. They kind of plan for this, and not going. I think helps this year's team in the sense that I think the fans didn't go the last 2 years, so they're hungry to get back to Omaha. I've had fans tell me that. We didn't go the last 2 years. They say they didn't go they say we, but they didn't go the last 2 years, and now they're going this year. We're going, So I've had fans tell me that. I mean, obviously not that many, but I see that on social media, and I really believe that. I think Arkansas will have as many fans. Oh, you'd love to have 11,000 fans out there cheering for you, but that's not realistic. But no one else will have that either. But I think they will have as many fans as anybody, maybe, and probably more than most. But the fans are really hungry for that. And I think fans, the ones that's logical, they sense this team's got a chance to really go all the way. They really do. And that doesn't mean they will, but when they went in 2022, I had no thought that team would win the College World Series. I really didn't. The last team I thought probably might was the one with Kevin Cox, and they got beat by North Carolina State in the Super Regional here in Fayetteville. That was the team I thought might get to the College World Series and win it, and they didn't even get to go. Of course, that was that COVID year, I think, so it kind of got messed up anyway. But I sense, and I think most logical fans sense, this team has a legit chance of winning it all. And I just think they're gonna travel well. I think Arkansas will have as many fans as anyone and more than most.
Well, there's also that secondary game that happens in Omaha, and it's all about the Jello shots. And LSU is one that loves to lead that. Is that something where you're seeing these Arkansas fans maybe giving those Tigers a run for their money?
Oh, I'm sure it is, man. I mean, these guys. The strongest thing I drink is Red Bull, and everybody tells me it's not healthy for me. But a lot of people go out there and they try a little bit more stronger than Red Bull. So, I mean, they're going to go out there. Yeah, I mean, Arkansas will give them a run for their money on that. There's some guys who can throw it down here.
So does that mean you're getting to go to Omaha?
I'm not going, but I think Dudley is. Yeah, I'm not. I've got football official visitors and probably about 10 football camps in the next 2 weeks.
Hey,
a bunch
who cares
in the next
about
2
football,
weeks.
man? Come on.
I care about football, and I actually like the quarterback for Arkansas right now. So I'm there.
Well, I cover it all, man. I've got everything. I've got it, but I want to stay here. I want to do the football visitors and the camps. But yeah, Dudley will be in the College World Series or Omaha. But yeah, it's I'll certainly be covering it from here, doing some stuff, watching it off TV and covering that part of it. Yeah. But it's nothing like being there. But I like I said, I'm fine right here because I've got a little bit of everything going on. And so I'm trying to just, but yeah, those guys out in Omaha, I mean, these fans are going to show up, guys. They really are. Cause like I said, I think not getting to go the last 2 years is some people have, obviously they saved money, you know, that's a no-brainer. And I know some Arkansas fans that have gone the last 2 years, even though Arkansas wasn't there. It's kind of a yearly vacation they plan. I mean, I'm serious. Wow. There's some guys that actually go to the College World Series every year from here, whether Arkansas's in it or not. They went the last 2 years. I think it's crazy, but hey, you know, whatever, man. I mean, that's what. But they just love college baseball.
No doubt, those are definitely true baseball fans, and it's interesting to see. It really is, and I'm liking what I'm seeing from this Arkansas squad. You got anything else, Joe? Or
no? I mean, look, I'm just excited now just to be watching. I'm telling you, it's the best team in the tournament. It's the best team.
Okay. Well, you haven't had to convince me. I've already seen this team bat, and if you see one inning of them, you're pretty much sold.
When you go through the SEC and you're one of the two SEC teams left, and honestly, I think it's the two best SEC teams left. Whatever. I mean, I know Texas won the regular season. I get all that, but Arkansas swept them here. I'm sure Texas is better than what they showed when they came to Fayetteville. That happens. Yeah. But deep down, I believe that the two best SEC teams are those two that's still left. Shame they have to play the first round, but hey, that's the bracket, and so you play with the hand you're dealt. But that's fine. But I do think representing the SEC, that's why I think Arkansas LSU winner Saturday will have a leg up in winning this thing, because I just think that I still think the SEC is the best conference. Yes, they got, I think it was 13 teams in, only 2 are left. So that doesn't look that good, in the grand scheme, but we all know, people down here know what the SEC's like, man.
No doubt.
It's a bloodbath every week, every series.
Definitely feels that way. And hey, we might be getting one of the better matchups coming up just around the corner, but I feel like that's what this whole tournament's been about. A lot of big time matchups just randomly placed throughout this bracket, but it'll all come down to something great. But Otis, wonderful stuff from you as always. Let the people know where they can find your work and everybody else over there at Hogville.
Hogville.net, Big Trail Nation, the NBC here in Fayetteville, Arkansas. All of our articles, not just mine, but everyone's articles are free. Complete videos, photos, stories, cover all the major sports at Arkansas. It's free, can't beat the price, and give us a check. Check it out. I'm Otis Kirk 23 on Twitter. I'm on Facebook. There's plenty of places to read the stuff. I think my stuff is on Big Trail Nation Facebook. It's on Hogville. It's on my Facebook. It's on X. It's a little bit of everywhere. It's on the Big Trail Nation site, Hogville site, and then inside the boards and stuff. So, you can read our stuff. And like I said, it's not just my stuff, but Mike Irwin, Dudley Dawson, Kevin McPherson, the whole 9 yards, everybody. And plus the Pig Trail Nation team. And, it's a great deal because it's free. And even if you're not an Arkansas fan, everybody, if the week your team's playing Arkansas, you can come and read our articles to kind of get a scouting report on what to expect that weekend, because it's free. It's not like you have to pay $15 a month to check out Arkansas.
Yeah, there's already enough subscriptions that we got to pay for, man. Well, as always, brother, I appreciate it. You have yourself a wonderful day and enjoy the week as a winner.
Thank you, guys. Appreciate y'all having me on here anytime, and thank you so much. Appreciate you.
Good stuff. Otis Kirk from Hogville.net, or you can go and find him with Pig Trail Nation. I thought he was saying Big 12 Nation for a second.
For a second, I thought he did that too.
I was like, I don't exactly know. And also, he didn't have to tell us that he drank Red Bull. We already knew that.
I know, which is why I love his energy.
I love it.
I seriously do. I feel like he was drinking a Red Bull as he was talking to us right now.
Just right before he just shotgun a Red Bull. I wonder what do you think his favorite Red Bull is?
Dude, I'm a watermelon, man. I'm a watermelon guy. You give me the watermelon Red Bull, I drink that every single time that we had a Habit game, the same like during a weekday. I would down a Red Bull right before puck drop.
It just tastes like summer.
Watermelon Red Bull, man.
Man, he gets my energy going. We're going to keep it going on the other side. When we get back, I got more video game stuff for you, Joe, to finish off today's episode.
I also have an interesting stat for you when it comes to how bad the Braves are when this season.
Well, we'll get into that too.
Yeah.
256-576-97.7 to get in.
This is the Blitz with Joe Hunk and John Abraham. 256-576-4977.
Eagle Masonry and Installation. It's right there in the name. Eagle is your one-stop shop for block, stone, or brickwork, monument signs, and outdoor kitchens and fireplaces. Eagle also offers the finest craftsmanship and insulation, including fiberglass or spray foam insulation, and of course, insulation removal. Philip Love and his team have years of experience, bringing the region the best in masonry and insulation services. For more information and a quote, visit insulatewitheagle.com or call 256-755-1556. Eagle saves you time. Eagle saves you money. Since 1983, Berkshire Hathaway Rise Real Estate's Ann Adams has been your local go-to real estate expert in the area. As a buyer, you can trust Ann's in-depth knowledge of the local housing market to narrow available properties down to those you'll be interested in, saving you time when shopping for a new home. When you're ready to sell, Ann's expert negotiation skills will ensure you get a fair price and hassle-free experience. Call Ann Adams today at 256-337-2625 or email annadamsrise@gmail.com.
Carrabba's Italian Grill is the best place to enjoy authentic Italian cuisine, passed down from our founders' family recipes. Featuring a wood-burning grill, you can enjoy Carrabba's signature dishes, including chicken brine, wood-fired grilled steak and chops, and classic Italian pasta dishes. Have a special event? Elevate your catering with Carrabba's Catering, the perfect way to enjoy large party portions of your favorite hand-prepared dishes for any event. Carrabba's Italian Grill at Parkway Place, Huntsville.
Market volatility isn't slowing down. If you're nearing retirement, now is not the time to wait and see. Every day of uncertainty can put your future at risk. It's time to diversify. I'm Jeff Jr. with Trajan Wealth, and I want you to know you can create certainty, locking in guaranteed income for life. This means predictable, stable cash flow, even in turbulent times. You've worked too hard to leave your retirement to chance. Right now, there are options to receive up to 30% upfront or annual growth of up to 10% for retirement income. That's up to $30,000 upfront or up to $10,000 per year on $100,000, all guaranteed for retirement income. Don't wait. Call Trajan today at 256-208-9000. That's 256-208-9000.
Annuity guarantees are based on the claims paying ability of the issuing insurance company. Any examples provided are hypothetical. Annuities are issued with prospectus and sales brochures and should be reviewed carefully before funding as features and benefits vary. DBA in most states as Trajan Wealth Insurance Solutions.
SportsMed is the official team physicians of the Rocket City Trash Pandas. And if the pros trust SportsMed, you can too. SportsMed provides every service you might need for complete orthopedic care, specializing in orthopedic surgery, sports medicine, joint replacement, spine surgery, neurosurgery, and podiatry. And they offer their own brace shop, in-house full-body MRI, physical therapy, walk-in clinic, and so much more. 4 locations and on the web at sportsmedalabama.com.
The state's largest orthopedic group is growing to meet the needs of the patients in our community. The Orthopedic Center has long been the most trusted name in orthopedics in North Alabama. So as our area continues on the fast track, so does the need for premier orthopedic care anywhere and anytime you need it. TOC is proud to announce the opening of our new locations in Albertville and Hampton Cove, along with the grand opening of our newest office in Decatur. These clinics will offer the same high-quality orthopedic care you have come to associate with TOC, with the convenience of being closer to home. As a patient, your time is your most precious asset, and we recognize that at TOC. That's why we are also proud to announce the opening of our urgent ortho clinics to handle those bumps and bruises that need prompt attention. These clinics are available to care for acute orthopedic injuries with no appointment necessary. With 38 physicians, 20 centers of excellence, and now more than a dozen locations to serve you, TOC will continue to be the name you turn to for the best orthopedic care at the right time. Visit our website at visittoc.com for more information. TOC, helping you live a better life.
Hey there, everybody. Bob Baumhauer here, letting you know that we understand that times are tough and we truly believe value matters. So, by popular demand, we brought back our Inflation Bites menu featuring scratch-made meals that will make the whole family smile and your wallet, too. Menu items start at just $7.99 and any entree comes with a free beverage. Try our classic tailgate burger for just $8.99 or our hearty Bam Bam chicken platter for $9.99. Baumhauer's Victory Grill. Legendary fun, legendary food.
There's power in caring when it is put into action. Each year, our bankers serve on nonprofit boards, support our local educators, and volunteer with our hometown food bank. I'm Bobby Humphrey, Vice President of Business Development for Bryan Bank, and community service is just not a line item in our mission statement. It's who we are. Because after all, Alabama is our home too. That kind of commitment to community might not be what you would expect from a bank, but it's exactly what you can expect from us. Give us a call or stop by one of our 2 offices in the Huntsville area and experience unbeatable service and legendary results.
Bryan Bank Equal Housing Lender, NMLS ID 2428943, member FDIC.
The Blitz with Joe Hunk and John Abraham. Weekday morning starting at 9 a.m. on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
Final segment, best segment. 97.7 ESPN The Zone coming up at 12. Tom Abraham Show. And how bad are the Braves? Well, let's just not have a tie game in the 7th inning.
Ever?
The Braves right now, when they're tied after 6 innings, are 3-5. When they're tied after 7 innings, 4-5. When they're tied after 8 innings, 4-6.
Yeah, let's just work on that a little bit.
That's bullpen issues.
Yeah.
6th, 7th, 8th innings. That's when you start bringing your bullpen in.
Iglesias.
Back end of your bullpen.
Come on, man. Start picking it
The
up.
Braves have lost 14 games when having a lead after the 6th, 7th, or 8th inning total. 14 games when leading after the 6th.
Oh, get it going quick. Score as many runs as you can. Jeez.
Yeah, just fire sale.
The Braves roll into the 2025 season with a singular focus. Bring home the division title and remind the league what Atlanta is all about.
Swung on, driven to left center field and deep. That baby's out of here. Austin Riley. 3-0 to Olsen, and he powers one deep right center field.